Good evening. Yeah, and see Mike's in the chat. So I will first of all ask, can you hear me? Let's do the first check of the night. It's the moment of anticipation. Is it working? Loud and clear. Thank you, Mike. Hi, Paul. Sorry, I've got right where the chat comes up. I've got the microphone in the way, so it's yeah, as I say, new microphone on a bit of a swivel thing. So it's not a bad thing that it covers a bit of me face. The main thing is that you guys can hear me. So yeah, evening everybody, and I hope everyone is okay. Um, yeah, I'll just chat waffle for a couple of minutes while we wait for people to join. So hi, Kaz. But yeah, again, this is a new format again, guys. It's I've cropped everything together to do a bit of a watch of the best bits. So I kind of thought about the whole rewatch thing and thought, you know what, some of the best episodes are too long to sit here and just do a rewatch of the whole thing. Um, so yeah, I figured, let's let's have a little see and if I can just make it a short video and just go through the best bits. Evening, John Paul. Thanks for joining. Thanks, Kaz. Yeah, Grace come downstairs before to to choose a new exciting new phone cover for a Christmas present phone. Yeah, she was well impressed with it, especially the fact it's on a swivel arm. Yeah, I think Dad finally impressed daughter number two as well. Yeah, listen, how is everyone? It's weather's been a bit bleak. I know Paul will be buzzing. Just watched before, mate. So great result for the Blues there. So yeah, so the whole idea of this again is rather than watch back a full episode, I just thought, you know what, we'll do it. I'll crop the best evidence. So I've got a couple more kind of to work on. One of which will be Walton Hall. I was kind of thinking along those lines as well. There's over what 3, 4 episodes we did, including the Halloween special at Walton Hall. There's so much amazing evidence that we captured. Sadly, that nobody can ever capture again. Hi, Caroline. So yeah, it's we've investigated places that nobody can ever go back to, whether it's because of renovations or whether it's because like Walton Hall, sadly, it's just no longer there as a functioning building. Hi, Paul. Hope you and Carol are okay, mate. Again, guys, thank you for joining because I know it's Sunday evening and people are usually busy. They're sorting kids out or chilling out. Um, but yeah, we just kind of figured the last couple of episodes that have gone out on a Friday. We know some of you guys you're really enjoying you're going to spiritual clubs and stuff like that now. So we kind of figured if when I get out round to filming some new episodes, which I will get on to a bit later on. Um, whilst we're building up a bit more footage and everything to put new episodes out, we just kind of figured the you put all that effort in, and because you guys have brilliantly got other things to do now, Friday night just seemed to not be the night anymore to do a Haunted Scouse premiere. So the last one seemed to go quite well on a Sunday. So I think what we'll do is stick with that. Might change it up with the chats as we go along. Just make that a little bit different at times. But yeah, in the main, Sunday seemed to be a popular night for the last episode, and people seem to have more time. A watch along of Accrington. Um, do you know what? Yeah, I could do because me and Adam went there and did an episode and captured a few bits. and then we did capture some really interesting stuff. So again, there's just when you start scratching the surface of what Haunter Scouts have done, the Griffin, yeah, Paul. I mean, we did 2 episodes at the Griffin, so you start to scratch the surface of what we've done, and you realize some of the amazing evidence that we've captured, and we've long given up on that 10,000 views for every episode. It's never happening for this channel, and that's fine because it's quality over quantity. That's the way we kind of looked at it. But again, as Paul's just pointed out, the Griffin, there's yet another location that nobody can ever go back to and do because it's not there to do anymore. As a location, it's not there anyway. So it is, and you've got to look back at some of the things that we've done and realize that nobody can ever do them again, and that's pretty decent. In some of our back catalogue, I know people go to locations and they get it exclusively, but some of the places, again, the Dovedale Towers, when I was looking back at that, it was getting renovated. Nobody can ever do what we did there. Um, and just let me know, but I just want to make sure I'm not too close to the microphone for you as well, guys. Um, yeah, what was the other place that jumped at the Slaughterhouse Pub? And the episode we did there, nobody can ever do again because that space that we filmed in above the pub is now the Sunrise Hotel, or has been for at least 12, 18 months now, the Sunrise Hotel. So again, it does look completely different. So again, it's like I've placed this mic in this camera in the way the chat's on the left hand side of my screen and the microphone's right in the way. So I'm ducking around it so we can see what I've got. So one thing, and I kind of toyed with putting this up, but I'm gonna put it up anyway because I learned something about when people are giving us donations on YouTube. So I'll put this along the bottom on the ticker. Um, So I did see something else. I think the chat's just a little bit behind popping up in mine. There we go. Yeah, thanks, Caroline. Just confirming the sound. Yeah, so I found out something about when you guys are kindly making donations on the YouTube channel. Um, we've always known that YouTube takes 30%, and you know what? It's like when they're giving us a platform to put something out there, we've always kind of gone, do you know what? Yeah, that's fine. Um, l- lately, I'd say the last 12, 18 months, to be honest, YouTube has tended not to push smaller channels like us and the paranormal. So you kind of think they get what are they taking 30% for? Providing a platform is the only thing that they seem to be doing for us. Um, but what I also found, and you'll see it scrolling along the bottom, apparently, and I have looked at this and researched it, and apparently it is true. On top of the 30% that YouTube take, you pay via Apple. Apple take 30% as an administrative fee as well. So obviously, for us creators, that leaves us with just 40% of your kind donation, and we know that is not what the intention is when you do make a donation. So that's why I wanted to point that out. We're all suffering in the same way, in that way as YouTubers. I can monetize Facebook. I just don't want to. We don't use Facebook to monetize Facebook. I think they call it stars. Um, Again, it's just I haven't really looked into it because we've never chased the money. That's been the thing with it. It's always been about providing you guys with quality content. But I did just feel the need to point that out because I noticed it was the Halloween special. I noticed it sounds terrible, but you kind of totaling up in your head what you've had from donations, and you think, brilliant. It's been a successful night, and then you see what your YouTube payment is the next day, and you're wondering what's happened to the rest of it. And that's why I looked into it and thought if anybody's been donating via Apple Pay, then we've literally ended up with if they donated £10, we've ended up with £4 of it. So that's why anybody with PayPal, if you ever do want to donate to the channel just to fund future ventures, and you do have PayPal, then doing so via PayPal and using friends and family means we get 100% of that donation. and to use towards locations and equipment. Yeah, so I'll take that ticket off now because it looks like I've got the begging bowl out, and it really wasn't for that. It was just to point out that is what happens with the with Apple Pay. So yeah, how is everyone anyway? We'll give it another couple of minutes, and then I've got a video all set up with the Halloween best bits. Um, I'm just clicking around the different formats just to make sure everyone is still there and all good. Yes. Again, I've practiced and practiced and tested with this, so hopefully by the time this all finishes tonight, it's being a crystal clear connection, guys. But yeah, so I think one last thing I will say before we go into the clips is thank you to everybody who has bought onto the Hoylake Parade night and the Clifton Hall night in aid of Grace's school. Um, it genuinely does mean so much to me and Suzanne, and it does to the school and to not that Grace understands it, but she's she's really looking forward to this prom, and I'm looking forward to the moment when I can hand over what we've raised as a family. And me, guys, I'm not going to go to the school and say, oh, look what I've done, because I'm fully aware that the generosity is from you guys to to us as a channel, allowing us to do this for our daughter. But yeah, it's gonna make such a difference because, like all schools, but special schools especially, when they're having to use that funding for days out for the kids and everything because it's non-academic, it quickly drains the funding. So to try to make it special for the children who are leaving, they're having to fundraise every year for the school prom. So I'm really proud that I'm able to do this, and hopefully if Haunter Scouts keeps going in future years, it's something I can do again. It's no skin off my nose, and obviously location to choose. You guys will always want to come back to a local location, and then just give them some money to help them out. So yeah, again, thank you so much for everyone that has booked on. Clifton Hall on the 3rd of April is completely sold out, and Hoylake Parade on the 7th of March still has 2 places left. I mean, even if those 2 places don't go, we've raised a substantial amount for the school towards the prom. So yeah, I'm proud of you lot, and I'm proud of myself, and you know more so I'm proud of our daughter Grace. She is looking forward to it, and those that are coming to Hoylake Parade, if you some of you met Grace on the Bidston Hill walk. um yeah, me and Kaz got to spend a lot longer with her because I got us lost on the top of Bidston Hill, which Grace, takes great joy in telling everybody about. Kaz had me back though and said we didn't get lost, we went on an adventure. So I'll take that. But yeah, it's going to be a great night. Grace is coming along because it's not too scary for her, and she is 18 now. So unfortunately, as I've said to a lot of people in the past, you've got to be 18 to come to our events for insurance reasons. But yeah, it's going to be an amazing night at Hoylake. Bog standard Haunter Scouts event. The difference is we're raising money for a good cause, a charitable cause this time. So yeah, so thank you. Anybody interested in the last 2 tickets, contact us via the Facebook page with a private message, and the tickets are £50 each. Yeah, there's no channel members discount on this one because it's a charitable one. And as you all know, Adam's back for one event only on the 27th of June, and that is completely sold out. We've maxed that out so that as many of you as possible can, ignore me for the night and, give him all the attention. He won't mind. But yeah, so I think what I will do, I will start the video of the evidence so far on the Bron Y Garth one. And then as we watch through it, you won't have to look at me. I'm just going to go to a small little picture down the bottom. Um, yeah, and then we'll just watch it through. I will pause it sporadically so we can just discuss it. And then if there's any bits that anyone wants to watch again, the video is about 25 minutes long. I've condensed it. just to get some of the best bits. So yeah, I'll transition that across now, and we'll start.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Haunted Scouts Halloween Special 2025. We've actually come to one of the most haunted places in Wales, and it is Bron Y Garth Hospital.
We should take a Q&A then.
I think so.
Right.
This is going to massively test us tonight.
If there is anybody here with us now, can you try and give us some sort of sign? Maybe by making a noise.
What the?
What? I had to have been outside.
I can't hear any voices.
Someone like went,
Clear as anything. This first circle is where we're both sat at this exact moment. The second circle is where the lock-off camera is situated in the main ward. Now we discuss whether somebody could have walked past, thinking a footpath was right outside our window, but as you can see, the nearest footpath is on the other side of the road. Now, I'm going to pause it there, and I just want to double check that you can all still hear me okay over this, and the audio was okay on that video as well. It's the good thing about having a lot of you regulars in here. Let me know if there's any issues with this tonight, guys, and we'll tweak it as we go along. But yeah, was the audio on the video okay? And can you hear me at the moment? All good. Thanks, Mike. So, obviously, that was at the very start of the night at Bron Y Garth for us. It was. It's hard to describe how loud that noise was in the room. I was so glad the audio picked it up because we've all had experiences in that room. I know me and Suzanne were talking, saying about when we were in there. I think it was the first visit, and in that same room, we heard what sounded like a whistle, clearly, and in around that same space as well. And the main reason that I have paused it on this screen is where that arrow is pointing is important. And it was only afterwards when we were discussing it that in the initial moment, me and Adam genuinely thought there was a footpath that went right outside that window. And it's worth noting, Jordan, when you watch it back, whether you watch this clip back afterwards or you watch the full episode back, it's worth noting how muted the traffic is when it's going past, even HGVs. So if the traffic is muted, there's not a chance that there's a female has been walking past on the other side of that road. And it's either a heavy sigh or it's like someone yawning. Ugh. It's yeah, it's impossible for that to have been anybody outside the building, and the fact that the lock-off camera in the main ward picked it up as well was pivotal to that, because that means that that person was inside that building, or that spirit was inside that building, and to us, I mean, wow, what a start that was to the night, and sitting there and thinking we've got to split up later. That was clear as anything.
Is that right here?
Yeah, literally right next to you. Now again, I'm just going to pause it there because a car just went past. So you see exactly what I mean with the car. It's muted, and if a car is muted to that extent, someone on the other side of that road is not making a sound that's carrying into that room through solid stone walls and boarded up windows. But I've got to say, I am so glad we weren't doing lone vigils and one of us was in here. And imagine being on your own and hearing that.
I say that's the thing. It's it'd be like trying to get a bit of comfort and find the other person, but tonight we're going to be so far away from each other at one point that it's like you kind of like, oh my gosh, I'm just have to like kind of just sit here, shut my eyes, and before he goes away.
Yeah. Thank you. As you said, it's so quiet in here.
Mm.
It's so quiet in here.
Mm.
It's so quiet in here.
Mm.
As we were on the nurse's corridor, setting up for an Estes experiment, it appears the spirits were downstairs, waiting for us. Now again, it's that room is underrated, and it's only when for those of you that are lucky enough to be coming back on this coming Saturday for the event there, it's yeah, I think I'm devising a different technique of how we're going to investigate and how we're going to do it uh, on Saturday. Because I think the certain hot that we have now hit on that we need to spend more time at. I think we've been there enough times now between filming and events to know that certain areas are really active and other areas are a bit more quiet. It's a bit more subtle. So maybe are better for when everyone splits up and you do free time. Um, but yeah, I mean that room, it's like, I do have, I'm gonna bring it with me on Saturday. I did manage to get the original plans of well, it's not the original plans, but it's the first plans of it as a functioning kind of hospital. So it's not so much the workhouse, but the hospital. Even in Robbo, welcome in, mate. Yeah, so I'm gonna bring them with me. I couldn't get a full printout because it's such a large map. I will ask Andy though, who owns Bron Y Garth, if he can kindly lay out his copy because he has a full, like, massive printed copy. I've had to make 7 or 8 A3 color copies of it so that you can piece them together and see what the original parts were for. Interestingly, this corridor that Adam is sitting on now, that room that I'm in, was what was known as the master's living space or living accommodation. Adam has sat opposite one bedroom, and a bit later on, you'll see something happen to Adam that's in what's classed as another bedroom. Um, so yeah, you wouldn't think that bedroom and living space would be at the front, but this was post workhouse. This was when it was a hospital. So not obviously not the NHS hospital that we know it as, but a former version of the hospital. I have tried to, unfortunately, the the council that Bron Y Garth falls under don't have the plans for the workhouse, which is a shame. It would have been really interesting to see those original plans, but what I do have is from like 1880, so it does add a lot more weight to what the different areas were used for and why you would have certain activity there. So yeah, so we'll crack on with what we've got, and but yeah, just to bear in mind, this was living accommodation back in the 1880s. So there would have been a lot of hustle and bustle. And at the end of the corridor towards, I don't know why I'm pointing, you can't see what I'm pointing at. I'm pointing at the telly anyway. Excuse me. At the end of that corridor behind Adam, we know it as the nurses' quarters. Um, that had different uses as well. So it's interesting, and I will bring the plans for everyone to look at in the breakout area on Saturday.
So guys, yeah, it's time for an Estes method of thinking. Unfortunately, yeah, I have to read a short straw. Obviously Chris is on a separate camera in the room just behind where I am, or a bit further down the corridor, should we say. Yeah, what a great place to do it. So we're going to pop down there. Can't see nothing here, can't really see too much other than the glare of the LED screen turning the other way. So we'll just crack on. Obviously, you know how this works, and yeah, I'll put the headphones on, I'll put the blindfold on once I've got this going, and yeah, cool. That's the light. Sound like there or past security.
So is this a security breach?
Need help.
So security breach.
Oh, it's a horrible, like girly sort of.
Do you not like us being here?
And again, you should be able to hear my voice as well here, but I find this section really interesting with the REM pod and Adam's reaction not being able to hear that REM pod.
Freezing.
There was a knockdown there before.
Covering.
I said that. You near Adam?
My legs are like so cold. Standing there, maybe.
Are you standing next to Adam?
A little bit, something.
That's good that the REM pod's reacting to a temperature change, just as Adam's saying he feels his legs are being become colder. So you affecting Adam? Are you making it colder? Can you touch him? You touch his right hand.
That was like a giggle, and then it sounded like get them or something then.
What can you do?
Not like last one.
Maybe you can touch Adam's right hand. Can you do that? Can you see Adam?
I'm standing near the something at the back.
Can you touch his hand, please? Are you hiding? Ooh.
Where's he going?
Hello.
That was like a, we're gonna meet after.
Oh, great. Bear in mind, we've got to go to sleep yet, guys. We're going to meet after. Hope you talking to him. Are you touching Adam?
So cold, my legs.
Wow, that's really interesting. That's really interesting that that's been quiet for so long. And the minute he starts feeling his leg again, like something's touching him, it starts alarming again for the temperature change. So, yeah, that's good. We're claiming that.
My name is female. Fear, torment. Feel something's like so cold here.
Whilst we were still upstairs, once again, the REM pod in the far right hand side and the K2 meter were triggered by something unseen. Was this the female we heard earlier in the night? At this
Now I'll pause it there again. First off, just hi Lucy, hi Lisa. Again, thanks for joining. Really do appreciate it. Um, to go back to Adam on the corridor, the the I f- I found that really interesting. I was happy that I was at the other end of the corridor in that room. But I found it really interesting how he was reacting to feeling cold before the temperature was reacting on the REM pod. So he could feel that change. And obviously the temperature change, it wasn't dropping and rising, because otherwise the REM pod would have kept doing it. And you know, when we've used them, guys, if sometimes that temperature thing can go off and it'll be too many people in a room moving around and it just makes it fluctuate. But the fact that Adam was reacting to a temperature change and then the REM pod seemed to confirm what he was feeling was really good. And then as for the K2 and the REM pod in the I think it's a family waiting room on the plans. I will confirm that. But yeah, it was really interesting to see. Again, this is why we use lock-offs on Haunted Scouts. Without these lock-offs, we would have missed so much evidence on this night, and it's important to capture as much as you can from these locations, um, because otherwise, if you've only got you can have one camera and you can miss so much. You can have one camera and you can capture everything on that one camera. It just depends on the night. But with a place like this, you have to have the lock-offs just to cover as much as you can. But yeah, I say I just wanted to point that out about the temperature on the REM pod.
The exact moment in the main ward, something triggers the REM pod.
Now again, I've paused it there because I'm curious. We don't really get the chance to do it when the actual episode's on, but I know when I discussed that sound with Suzanne, and I think Adam had the same kind of opinion that it was like a clap. Um, I was hearing on the headphones. My initial thought was it was like footsteps, like someone running past behind. But I mean, it's on the corridor just behind that camera. Um, so it's on the corridor either headed to another family waiting area or down towards where that REM pod was going off. Now these two things didn't happen at the same time. It's worth pointing that out. I'm not claiming that something ran from that room, ran past this camera, and that's what we heard. Um, but I'm curious what you guys who are in the chat now, what do you think? What do you think it sounded like? I'll see. I should be able to scroll that back and play it again. So yeah, again, it's such a curious sound, but quite clearly, and I know from, I mean, I watched 4 hours of that angle on that lock off, and I was made up with getting the REM pod and the K2 going off once, let alone twice, and then obviously that sound. So it's like, Mike's got his opinion there, a child bouncing a ball or something. Yeah, again, it's got that, just that sound to it, that rhythmic sound, but it's just again, a really curious sound. Paul Eaton, thank you so much for the donation, by the way. I've just seen that pop up. Mr. Billing, welcome. You've I don't know whether you've been hiding in the background, but yeah, you're with us before it gets to the highlight, which is yourself on your solo, mate. Hope you're well. But yeah, again, it's just one of them things that, you know you're sorry that you weren't there in the moment because that clearly would have been audible to me and Adam, just like the female moan was. But again, Caroline, it's a familiar sound, but you just can't. What was it? And again, it does have that familiarity to it, and that's where it could be so many things. But I mean, it's certainly a really interesting capture. You don't have to have a shadow figure or anything for it to be, an interesting piece of evidence.
So, typically, just as I'm starting to walk back down the corridor, getting ready to go to sleep, so to speak, and yeah, REM pod behind me starts going off. Yeah, what a silly idea.
It's been a silly idea at the time, mate, but it turned into one of the best decisions ever.
Fuck me.
It doesn't matter whether I have this ability of like one leg goes in one direction, one leg goes in the other direction whenever something scares me. It doesn't, and this footage just showed me it doesn't matter whether I'm laying in bed. It's one leg's gonna go off on a tangent somewhere, but yeah.
Yeah, go on, mate.
So anyway, so I'm not happy with this camera shot, so that's why I'm shuffling about, and I just want to make sure, obviously, that the hours or whatever spent decently.
Do you need me to come up and help you set the shot?
I just need you, where I put the camera back where it was, if you can just come and see what it looks like from where I am.
You're right, Stevie soul did just leave me body.
Where's the kids? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sound. Yeah, it had literally just been them trying to get accustomed to the little noises in there.
Is my torch on there? Sorry for your pain. I don't want to fucking get up on the window sill.
Salt on the ledge.
So, right, you won't need to do that.
Right.
Enjoy.
Hey, Sean. Do you want to do Red Bull?
Yeah, you may as well, so that I won't get off. Anything else? A few biscuits for me as well. Yeah.
Fucking kiss goodnight.
Yeah.
Right.
Chin chin, mate.
It's easy to forget when watching this that Adam can see nothing and is in total darkness.
Now I'm just going to pause you for a second before we watch this whole section all the way through. I'm glad you're in the chat, mate, because a few of yous were really kind to me about going to Clifton Hall on my own, and doing the solo investigation there for the episode in December, and it was edgy, but um yeah, those of you that have seen this, it took me a while to get comfy in that bed. Don't get me wrong; it's not the best. It's not the place you choose to sleep. But what Adam experienced in this section, it basically gave us a part two, because yeah, you see, and I just fell asleep, and that was me. But yeah, what Adam is about to go through here, hats off, mate. If I had one on, I've said that before. When people are telling me I was brave for doing Clifton, the fact that Adam can hear these noises and what happens to him, it's no wonder that it was time to call me back up in the end. But yeah, let's watch it all the way through, and then we'll discuss it.
So you're just trying to get accustomed to any sounds. Yeah, sounds like someone shuffling around. What was that? Oh, hi. I knew it was knocked down there. Hello? To me that sounded like... To me that sounded like... To me that sounded like... Down in Andy's room down there where he saw where his table is and all those wires are, and he says the things move from that table. Sounded potentially like it was coming from there, but then that cap all light up as well. Hello? I've heard it a few times tonight where it's like faintly in the distance, but it's people creeping. And I wouldn't mind if they were like walking, but it just sounds like someone is creeping up on you. What the hell was that? There's no way that was my coat. That was a whistle. Oh my god. I hope... Again, I'll just move my hand out the way. I hope to god the camera picked that up. So when you move your arm, Pat, because obviously I'm wearing quite a big coat because it's freezing. But so when your arm moves past it makes that kind of like weird like noise. I thought it was that, but that was a clear like... Do you know what you think? You should have just stayed put. But no. Walking round. Because you know, if you were sat at home yourself, you'd be saying you need to be walking around, you need to be investigating. Ooh. Hello? Ooh. Hello? Ooh. Hello? Now again, the skeptic in me is saying it was me walking on this floor, but I've walked in here several times and I've not heard that noise. And it didn't even sound like the floor, it sounded like the cupboard. That might have been Chris for all I know. I'm stuck here now. Maybe he's heard something and he's bolted.
I'll just pause it briefly just to say, yeah, as you all said when this premiered at Halloween, I did pass on all your sympathies to Suzanne. Yeah, I mean, it's a wonder Adam's camera audio didn't pick my snoring up on this night, but yeah.
What was funny as well is obviously them walking around there. The floor a bit uneven, it's a bit light as well. But there's several cat balls and REM pods on it, and not one of them went off. I was walking around there, so it was quite interesting there. A while ago, I had the one next to the REM pod go off. So, again, you can argue like vibrations and things set them off, but I've walked like back and forth up this corridor, and not one of them went off.
Oh, God. More awake than I was.
How's it, Chris?
Yeah, go on, mate.
You're not walking up here, are you?
No, I'm sitting on the bed.
No way.
Mate, I swear to God, I'm on camera now. I've literally just got up from laying down and I'm sitting up on the bed talking to camera.
Clear as day, I thought you were walking up the stairs coming to kill this off, and maybe there was something wrong with the radio, but because I mean, I just got up and walked around before and I've just sat back down, and then I can't believe just there that.
No, as I say, mate, honest to God, you'll see it on camera. I'm literally just saying to camera, yeah, I've had a bit of a kick now, and yeah, I was just about to go through and come up and see you.
Well, I'll wait for you then, because I'm not walking up those stairs, so yeah, you can check it out for me.
Right, alright then, mate, I'll see you in a sec.
No. That's going to make a massive liar out of me. Well, that was clear as day as someone was walking up those stairs. Thought at first it was probably the wind. No. I'm done. Absolutely done. That's it. glad to see you.
That's me walking up the stairs, mate.
Well, again, guys, it's that is actually the end of what I've clipped together. But yeah, I mean, again, mate, I'm glad you're in the chat for this because that was so ballsy. Yeah, what watching it back was I was so happy that the footsteps were clearly caught and the sound of the door was clearly caught. Um, because when you do what me and Adam do, um, sometimes you experience stuff and you just pray that there's something that shows up on the camera, a noise, a light, or you know anything. And I know in the moment because we all know Adam, we know we can trust him, and it's in that moment. He might not admit it in the chat, but in that moment, I'd like to think he was a bit scared. But how he actually stayed where he was, either frozen to the spot or just stubbornly not moving. Um, yeah, again, mate, it's amazing, absolutely amazing that you know, it's it's some of the best evidence that we've captured to date, and I'm so glad that the camera picked it up because those footsteps are so clear. And it is, as Adam described later on in the episode, it was like someone was just creeping. They weren't, there was no purpose to the walk other than to sneak up, somebody not wanting to be noticed or snup. And that's the thing with it. It's, yeah, as Adam's saying there, the audio doesn't do it justice. But again, mate, as I just said, we can um we can all see by your reaction. It's that moment of, you know, again, remind everybody he's sitting in the pitch black. He's looking down a corridor where there's a sound of somebody creeping up on him and there's no light source, there's nothing but the abyss and something's creeping up on him. And obviously, you know, as I say, I was made up the camera audio picked it up because had the camera been pointing the other way, obviously we're not getting Adam on it, but the camera audio pointing the other way would have got it crystal clear. So again, it's just amazing that it has been captured because it would have been heartbreaking if Adam experienced that. We can see he's genuinely experiencing something, but we didn't have that evidence to back it up other than we trust him. But yeah, it was as Mike saying there again, I'm looking around the bloody camera to see it. Yeah. Well, you say that, Mike, but if you were on your own up there and you heard those footsteps, would you have loved to have heard it like that? It's yeah, yeah, as Kaz has said, mate, good on you for staying put and not not running. Although you'd have had to run towards the noise because that's the only way down. But again, as Adam's saying there, guys, he wasn't even thinking about it being paranormal. It was, you know, yeah, it was had somebody else got in. In a way, um, it's very similar to. And again, I said it at the start. I'll do a little compilation of Walton Hall for another one of these watch alongs. It's very similar to when we did the solos at Walton Hall, and Adam was doing his, and he sat on the top floor and he actually radioed me in because he was convinced that there was two fellas walking up the servant stairs towards him, and it wasn't so much that he can't handle himself because he's bigger than me. He's taller, not bigger. But when you're in the pitch black, your initial thought is, who is walking up on me? So it's funnily enough, that's just jumped in my head there, Ad, is that that's the second time you've experienced that. But this time, unlike Walton Hall, This time it's being captured on camera, the audio, which is fantastic to back up what you experienced. But again, what I've done, I've just taken it back a little bit so that we'll just watch that.
The one next to the REM pod go off. So, again, you can argue like vibrations and things set them off, but I've walked like back and forth up this corridor, not one of them went off.
It did only take another 3 years, mate. Although ironically, the fact that the last thing you say in a Haunted Scouse episode is "I'm done," and then you buggered off to Kuwait, literally where. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just it. They are so. I enhanced it as much as a cloud. Sometimes when you enhance something too much, you just increase the hiss on the volume. But I was so happy I was able to enhance it enough to clearly hear the door, and that's the crucial thing in it. Hearing the door creak and then the footsteps follow. So the door kind of focuses you what you're listening to be able to hear the footsteps. But I just think, when the whole experience of investigating Bron Y Garth, just the two of us, was amazing. It's it's such a large place that there was so much of it we didn't even go into, and we had it all night because you can't just flit around 5 minutes in each room when you're doing a paranormal investigation. Just like when we're on events, it's great if you have a little bit of if you have a little bit of activity, then you need to stay and go with it. Yeah, I agree, mate. I'd say sometimes it's Steve Robbo saying a zest on that still. But but yeah, I agree with what you're saying. It's sometimes the volume haven't you just hit the right pitch for it. But yeah, you're gonna be missed next weekend, mate. It's yeah, we are. And for everyone that is going back to Bron Garth with us next weekend, the thing I've already said to you all, wrap up warm. Get your thermals ready because last year a lot of yous left early because you got a bit too cold. Yous have been warned. Those that have been there before, you got no excuse. I've bought a little halogen heater. Bear with me. Me telly's about to switch itself off. I bought a little halogen heater, so that will be used in the base room. Anybody caught leaving the base room door open, letting all the heat out, is going to get locked out the base room. You'll have to drink your coffee and look at it through the window. But yeah, it is going to be a great night next weekend. I'll uh, I'll take that back to the beginning, and we'll have a still of the two of us instead. But yeah, let me transition this one over. So there we go. So yeah, it's again, that was the first watch along. It's you know, do you know what, mate? That you just reminded me. The heated gilet, man. Oh, Nicky bought me a heated gilet. That's in the wardrobe, so I'll have to dig that out for next weekend as well. But yeah, so anybody got anything they want to discuss about the footage that we've just watched? Any of it that you wanna you wanna watch? Daddy Longlegs Lips Official. That's a name for you. Hey, back. Thanks for joining us. But yeah, if anybody wants to watch any of the little section back again, that is why I thought about condensing it. So rather than sitting and chatting and watching a full episode back, the crucial points are the main body of evidence, and then if anybody wants to watch the rest of it, there's plenty more that is in there of sections, but just condensing it all into things like that, it's an interesting way of looking back through it. Nah, stay, the chocolate won't melt, it's getting kept on the other side of the room. It probably thawed out the chocolate enough to be able to eat it without breaking your teeth. And that is the other thing. I know the big fella's not in the chat tonight. But for those that are going to Bron Y Garth next week, Team Two is gonna be managed by Steve and Ronnie, so they get their chance to shine next week at Bron Y Garth. So yeah, I'll be taking Team One, and Team Two will be as a Tweedledum and Tweedledee. Cheers, Ad. No, thanks for jumping on, mate. Honestly, and we'll once now I'm getting used to this. Hopefully, in the next month or so, we'll sort out a suitable time for you, and we'll get you on, yeah, to have a gab with everyone as well, mate. But yeah, no, appreciate you staying up late because I do know it is a school night for you as well. So yeah, cheers, mate, and catch up with you soon. But yeah, and again, as I said at the beginning, guys, it's again, once again, Paul, thanks so much for your kind donation on PayPal. Um, if anybody is considering a donation to the channel when they're watching YouTube videos, it's you we YouTube take 30% of the payment, but if you pay via Apple Pay, Apple are also taking, I believe it's another 30% of what you're kindly donating to the channel. So it's one of those. If you are able to make a donation, it honestly it's so much appreciated. There are things that plans in place, and places I am hoping to get out to film over the next month or 6 weeks. But yeah, it's the PayPal site is the best place to drop a donation for us if you want it all to go to us, which obviously you do. You family means that we get the 100% of it. But yeah, I mean, as for what's coming up, there is. Do you know what, Caroline? Do you know it's that tactic of when you give the naughty boys a little bit of responsibility, and all of a sudden it can either blow up in your face, or it can be a master stroke. So I'm hoping that putting Tweedledum and Tweedledee together to run a team is actually a master stroke on my behalf. But no, they'll be great. Honestly, it's I know Steve's in the chat, and I know speaking to Ronnie, Ronnie's buzzing about it as well. It's the two of them thick as thieves, and I know they're really looking forward to doing it, and I know we all know they'll be responsible because listen, guys, when Adam was away and me and Suzanne couldn't get to Staveley in September, what the feedback I got about how much you guys enjoyed it and how much you all stepped up to be lead investigators for the night was just phenomenal. And it was a proud moment to kind of see that what me and Adam have created with Haunted Scouse is, if you like, it's like an academy. So I know some people are advertising that they are they'll charge you to show you how to be a normal investigator. At the end of the day, that's what events are for, not standing around watching people tip a table or have a go on a Ouija board or the bloody human pendulum. That's not that's we want you guys to learn how to investigate, and it shows that we've done it right because it's Stavely. You all did yourselves proud, and it sounds like you've had a great night. So me and Suzanne are looking forward to going and experiencing ourselves next month. But again, that's what events should be about. It should be about giving you guys the experience of them going off and doing your own thing. Like we've seen, like I know Sean has gone off and started doing stuff, and on his paranormal UK team, and it's brilliant to watch that. What you sow a little seed, you help out a little bit, and we're always here to offer advice. We're not no, we don't see anybody as competition. It's just the more people that keep doing the paranormal, the more it just keeps going, and that's the brilliant thing about it. Um, as far as episodes coming up go, I've not filmed anything at the moment. I was kind of hoping that the little cold spell we had would have gone on at least a week, and I was going to try and get out and do a couple of local ones, just a couple of little outdoor ones as well. But that'll have to wait to see if we get another cold spell. Um, I have got a location in the city centre that I'm going to be filming in soon. That's pending. So hopefully in the next week or two, that's going to get filmed. Um, I am hoping to go back and film in Mill Street Barracks again with Jamie. So gonna go and do the podcast and be on the Access Paranormal podcast, and then film in Mill Street again, and then just see where the year takes us, guys. At the end of the day, everything is different at the moment, fitting everything in. But we've got a lot coming up. You know, there will be no more events after the Adam one. There'll be no more events until probably September. Um, and the main reason for that is just time. Let's all just as we usually do, chill out in the summer. It's that's what the summer's for. But the other events that might have been put in place, I've used for the fundraising for Grace's school. So it's so yeah, and again, you guys still get to go to paranormal events at two of your favorite locations. It's just that we're raising money for a fantastic cause. Yeah, and again, guys, for anyone who hasn't booked on and is thinking about it, there are still two places left to join us. A Hoylake Parade on the 7th of March, Saturday, the 7th of March, £50. Every single penny of profit is going to Palmerston School to help with their school prom. So, yeah, for everyone that's booked on, thank you. I know Sam and Rachel kindly, they've donated towards it. So publicly, I'll say thank you to Sam and Rachel. They can't make it on the night, but they wanted to support the cause, which is fantastic. Um, I was thinking of doing a raffle, but looking into it, the legalities of it, I won't be able to do that because I need all kinds of licenses, and I am 100% legit with Haunted Scouse as far as paperwork and tax and everything goes, insurance. So I don't want to do something like a raffle and fall foul of it that way. So unfortunately, that idea has had to be parked up. Um, but there will be some more competitions coming up. I'm not doing one tonight, um, because I just wanted to make sure that this format works and just nicely have a catch up. I will put Steve's comments up here. There we go. So I've put that on the screen, guys. So it's in black and white now. So if he breaks that contract, then stay nothing down for you, mate. But no, listen, we've all got faith in you, and everybody on your team is going to support you in the night. Nobody's going to be trying to trip you up. We've got four newbies or five newbies coming on the night. They're all going to be in my team. So everybody that you and Ronnie have in your team are going to be familiar faces. Ronnie's been told, mate, set an example, put his phone in his pocket. So yeah, I'll be asking at half time how he's been getting on. But again, Caroline, it just goes back to what I've just been saying about you guys all being experienced paranormal investigators now. So, obviously, when we get to Stavely, what you guys as experienced last time, it is what could lead the night. It's going to be my first time investigating it, and Suzanne's first time investigating it. The rest of yous that are there have done it before. You know, it's it is a location I'm really looking forward to going and exploring myself. But I mean, later in the year, um, there are there's a possibility, and I will say a probability that we will go back to Manor Road Lodge as well over in Wallasey. Um, I'm just waiting on a few things to be put in place there. So hopefully we will be going back to that place as well, because I think everybody found it a really interesting night. At times not the most active, and then we filmed there, and then the lock-off cameras picked up the music box going off, a disembodied scream, a door opening after the handles being turned. It's again, it comes back to using lock-off cameras and what we capture. So again, it will be good to go back there, because I think we've scratched the surface of what's there. Um, so yeah, that is a place for a revisit as well. But I'm waiting to hear, about a few things to do with it going forward. But again, that's not going to be till September onwards, guys. So, as much as I would love to put an event on every month for you, it's just not feasible, either for yourselves financially or for myself time wise. And I think when we have that gap in the summer, I think after Adam's one on the 27th of June, you got July, August, maybe the end of September, we'll come back with an event. Not seeing most of each other mostly for 3 months. It's a absence makes the heart grow fonder, should we say? And it is always nice to get back together, knowing that we'll have a run of 3 months, 4 months with events, 1 month after the other, as we always do in the winter. But yeah, my plan is to go back to, all being well, Manor Road. Can't go back to Clifton because we've created a monster and Clifton is sold out for the whole year, apart from the summer months. That's why we're going back there in June. Um, it's amazing. Jeff is absolutely buzzing, and rightly so. And we were laughing about it, that we have created a monster. It's gone from discovering a location and putting it on the map to not being able to book it for you guys because it's booked up. But we're going back there twice. April and again in June. So it's not that we're not going there. It's you know, it, it's just that we can't go there later in the year because it's fully booked. But I have asked Jeff to keep me updated if anybody cancels, and potentially we can jump on with that. So we will do Manor Road. Probably go back to Hoylake. I'm trying to keep 3 out of every 4 locations local, and I don't want to be traveling too far. But somewhere like Bron Y Garth, I think, is one that we all enjoy. Um, so Bron Y Garth, I think, will be contest schedule. But what I'm going to do before I book Bron Y Garth, I'm going to check the prices in the travel lodge again, because I want to be able to book a date where the price in the travel lodge is dirt cheap, £35 for the night or something. So as many of yous can afford to stay the night as well, to save that drive home, or just get there and chill out. And I don't know. I mean, if how many of yous in the chat are staying over? Robbo, are you staying over? You coming to Chippy with me again? We doing the Chippy run? But yeah, I know last year quite a few of us enjoyed Chippy tea before we went on to the location. Yeah, I haven't frozen here, by the way. I'm just waiting to see if anybody answers. I know there's always a delay on the chat coming through. Ah, you driving home? I stay okay. You might go the Chippy. I reckon you are going the Chippy. but um, but yeah. So again, anybody that's in the chat that is coming to Bron Y Garth, please wrap up warm. It is going to be absolutely freezing. I say I bought a little halogen heater just to plug in the corner, just to warm up that base room for everybody. So at least there's one area that we can come back during the break, and everyone can just take turns to piece around the halogen heater while they're having a cuppa. I bought new kettles. I'm investing the money wisely. Yeah, we don't need any more equipment. Everything equipment wise is spot on. So I've invested the money wisely in halogen heater and two new kettles. So we will still be old kettles as well. Just I'll get rid of the black one after next weekend, but I think there's going to be that many cuppas getting made. I think having four kettles on the go is going to be a must at Bron Y Garth, just so that everyone gets a cuppa in time. Um, but yeah, it is a place that I will get us back to as well. Um, yeah, obviously, I won't go into details, Mike, because I know it's your personal business and everything. But yeah, listen, you guys are going to be missed this weekend, but yeah, we will be going back, mate. We will be going back. There are a couple of dates that I'm looking at, and I'm trying to book it and price up with the hotel, so that those that do want to stay over can get a nice cheap hotel for the night as well, because it is, it's yeah, getting to bed for 3 o'clock, half 3, rather than driving home and getting to bed for half 5, 6 o'clock. It makes all the difference, honestly, just that couple of hours sleep. But um but yeah, I mean, for those that are in the chat, thank you for joining. I know it's a Sunday night. I'm not gonna waffle for too much longer now. It's again, it's we are. I am gonna try and do one of these every 6 or 8 weeks, and then I am in talks to try to get a few really interesting guests on for you for the podcast side of things. I've had one or two people that have contacted me already for it. Um, with them, I am thinking of a mixture of some of them I will potentially do live, because I'd like to do some of them live, um, so that you guys get a chance to ask questions. But on some of the others, I'm potentially going to pre-record them, and it'll just be released as a podcast, just like a bog standard pre-recorded podcast. But um, it depends on the availability of the individuals, because, as I say, I'm trying to make it as varied as possible, and make it as interesting as possible for you guys. So, it's yeah, I mean, subject matter, anything to the unexplained, basically. It's me and Suzanne had a brief conversation about reincarnation, the other night, and I thought, great, I wrote it down, and it's like, great, there's something for a podcast. And so, there's a discussion to be had. Um, I've got an idea for a little twist on the end of the podcast as well, for each guest, to ask them the same question and see what kind of answer we get, which will be interesting as well. So yeah, I'm gonna try and make that as varied and as interesting as possible for you guys. So, I know you'll all bombard me with suggestions of who you want on, but trust me, if whichever name you're gonna put in there, I guarantee I've already got them in my head. Um, yeah, it's there's a few that I've already sounded out, and they're more than happy to come on and have a chat. Um, yeah, and I just need to figure out how I'm gonna do that, and slot and things like that. So yeah, I'm just trying to make it more varied. There will be more episodes. As I say, hopefully, you know, we're all up and running now. It's January. Um, but yeah, it's no, Kaz, appreciated, and again, appreciated, you know, you guys, a lot of you guys have got so much going on at the moment, so really appreciate you jumping into the chat and joining us, and I hope it's just helped you switch the brains off for an hour and a half, and just yeah, just kick back, because that's what I want to create these for. And I say, as we go forward and we get Sunday night at 7 for a chat, or 8 for an episode when there's episodes to release. Sunday will become the new Friday, and then potentially, something in the midweek at some point as well as we go forward. Just being you know, I will let you off. I'll let you off. Again, it's it's worth having a little look back, and then what I'll do, I'll about a week's time, I'll probably I, what I might do is upload the footage, the extra little clip video that I've done. I'll upload it to the members section as well, guys. So again, it's a way of it's something you've already seen, but at the same time, I'm aware that at the moment, I really appreciate YouTube channel members because there's not been much to put out there for you. But again, that's where it comes in that we give you the 10% off tickets and merch as well. So if the channel's a bit quiet and you want a t-shirt, you get your money back off the t-shirt. If the t-shirt is needed, but we announce an event, you get your money back by saving 10% off the event. Um, Caroline, the Mill Street podcast. I'm waiting on Jamie. Jamie's away this weekend, so he said when he gets back, he's going to sort out a time with me when I can get up there and record that with him. So I'm looking forward. It's been a long time since I've had a proper catch up on the podcast with Jamie. So yeah, we've got a few things we want to discuss on it. And you guys know Jamie, he's such a nice fella. Um, so it's always good to catch up with him as well. So hopefully that by the end of February, hopefully I will have filmed in a certain location in town, and I will have filmed in Mill Street with Jamie as well as doing the podcast. So I'll be on the Access Paranormal podcast with Jamie. And then at some point, Jamie will flip it. I'll get Jamie on as my guest if he wants to, because he's brilliant on the podcast, but we all know Jamie can be quite shy. So if he wants to be on the podcast, on the Haunted Scouts podcast, then of course he can be. But be interesting to get your what's Steve saying there. It would. I mean, again, I'm just trying to vary it with so many different people of that, what's their experiences of the paranormal, and yet there's names on the list that it would be a dream to get on the Haunted Scouts channel, because I think it would be a massive thank you to you guys if I can get some of the biggest names in the paranormal on it. And we all know I'm not saying I'm rubbing shoulders with people, but we all know, after filming with the BBC, we've got contacts. So if there's time there, then hopefully I can get, one or two of of the guys that are on TV to appear on the podcast as well. But again, whether they'd be live for you guys to join in and ask questions, or whether they'd be pre-record, because that's when it fits in with their schedule. We'd have to see if I can get them on. But yeah, again, I'm just trying to vary it, in the knowledge that I can't get out and film all the time, but I haven't stopped filming. It's just not been feasible. Yeah. So Caroline, not a chance. Not a chance. Do you know one thing? I will touch on this, and it's not a personal thing against Beardo gets scared. It honestly isn't. It's you all know my opinion on debunkers. It's the way it's done. I would rather somebody dropped into the comments in after an episode and put a comment. And that's the way I think it should be done initially, not to show someone else's hard work on their channel and just rip it to pieces. Because I've seen it happen to our good friend Ben from Ghost Quest TV. He was caught up in a whole thing with another YouTube paranormal team, and it was it was Ghost Quest TV's name that got pulled through the mud for faking evidence, and it wasn't at all, and Ben was fuming, but Ben flipped it. It was a channel, I don't even know whether the channel's still there. It was called Debunking with Doodle, and she went right after him, and I was in the comments defending Ben, because it wasn't Ben's team that she was accusing of faking something. It just happened to be it was in someone else's episode, and it was Ben and a member of Ben's team had appeared in someone else's episode. But because their team name had been mentioned, she went after Ben, and it was unfair. And Ben flipped it brilliantly because he's one of the nicest people you'll meet, and he flipped it brilliantly. And he appeared on her YouTube channel, and Mike, who was accused of cheating as well, he appeared. So the three of them had this grown up conversation on her channel where to be fair to Debunking with Doodle, she apologized. that she had got the wrong end of the stick. She had accused the wrong team of cheating. And as Ben pointed out, his episode, it was in the Ancient Ram, and Ben's episode isn't even out until later this year because he's been busy, doing his own thing and changing jobs, etc. So Ben's editing to put out a whole series from say September onwards on the Ghost Quest TV channel. That stuff he's already filmed. We know our very own Paul Roberts is part of the Ghost Quest TV team now, so we're going to see Paul on the telly as well with Ben. But yeah, Ben through conversation with her flipped it the other way and said, "Look, I'm angry because A, it wasn't us. B, we didn't cheat. And C, if you when you see my episode, that won't be in it because I would never claim that as paranormal because it was clearly it was someone who was accused of saying they had demonic scratches on the neck." And this debunking with Doodle said you can clearly see in the scene before that he scratches his neck. And Mike was on the deep on the chat with her and said, "I don't remember doing it. It's just I had an itchy neck, so scratch my neck." Somebody else went, "You've got scratches on your neck," but I didn't remember scratching my neck. And again, that's my thing with debunkers. It's they've never come after Haunted Scouse, and I don't know whether that's because we use multiple cameras and we don't go overboard with that's paranormal, that's paranormal. We can back it up like we've just seen. Two cameras showing exactly where I was when Adam hears the footsteps. So I think that's why none of them have ever come after us personally, because we can back it up. And we've never faked anything. We don't have to. It's Haunted Scouse has always been about personality. That sounds really egotistical, but you guys have always said the banter between me and Adam is what pulled you into it, and then attending the events with us. So yeah, it's I like discussions about evidence and the paranormal, but I think there's a way of doing it, and I think dropping a comment on someone's video is the more honest way of doing it. And then if you want to then put something on, invite that person to discuss it, and if give them the chance to discuss it. That's what debunking should be about, not about making a second video of someone else's hard work that they've gone out, filmed, edited, and then you probably get more views on your channel watching it back and ripping it to pieces than that channel does in the first place. So yeah, I'm not a fan of it. If someone's faking stuff, I wish more people had put comments on their videos rather than just blindly say, "Oh my god, that was amazing." It's so easy to just drop a comment and put a positive comment, not nasty. Just say, "Can I ask a question about that bit of evidence? Do you think it could have been?" And start a discussion because that's the way I would rather it went. We're all in it to just create something for you guys to enjoy, and at the end of the day, most of us go out and do day jobs as well. So we don't need to make a living from YouTube. It would be lovely to do so, but we don't. So yeah, it's a long-winded answer to your thing, Caroline. But no, I just think there's a way of doing it, and some of them it got a bit vindictive about 2 years ago. It's all calmed down again now. Um, but it did start to get a bit vindictive, and it just put a massive divide in the paranormal community where we're all in it for the same reason. We want to try and find that proof of life after death, of the spirit world, and no matter how we do it, what piece of equipment we use or whatever, we're just trying our own little technique on how to do it. So yeah, I just think it's everything has a place, and I just think no, there's ways of doing things, and yeah, I won't be inviting any debunkers onto the podcast. That's for sure because I don't see what anybody would get from it. But yeah, so I guess with it being a Sunday night and it's I guess that's time to wrap. Put the kettle on and have a cuppa before we all start relaxing and chilling out, ready for another manic Monday. But yeah, listen again, guys. Thank you so much for joining. Whether you've been on Facebook or whether you are on YouTube, if you're watching on catch up, then thank you for watching on catch up. if you are on Facebook or you will be on Facebook or YouTube, please drop a comment underneath and just let me know what you thought of this tonight as well. By the way, it's did you enjoy the format of it, of having that 25-minute, half an hour video to watch of evidence, and then go back over a few bits of it? It'd be, again, I want this to be interactive. I want this to be something that you guys get involved in, so that we can make it grow, um as you guys want it to grow. I've just said about feedback. Let me know any bits that you didn't like about this, and I'll tweak that. I want this to become an interactive experience with you guys. That's why I love doing the live chats. It's brilliant seeing you all say hello to each other, and everything like that. It is lovely. I know I haven't put everyone's comments up all night. It's just been I am reading them, and it's easier to just to throw the odd one up. I haven't bombarded you with banners or anything, because that's not what tonight was about. Again, as it goes forward, we'll tweak it in different ways, and have different videos to watch. But yeah, again, at least this time round, hopefully the signal stayed all the way through, because it should have, because that's what I'm paying for now. But yeah, I am going to finish this video. Anyone watching on YouTube that hasn't already, please hit the subscribe button. If you're watching on Facebook, um, just check that you are actually following us as well, because a lot of people like us but don't realize you got to follow us as well. Because when I put posts up, you'll find that you can only comment on our post if you've been a follower for 24 hours or more. Excuse me, or more. That's to stop the spammers going into the comments and trying to sell you tickets they haven't got, or trying to befriend people because I like your profile picture. Making it comments of only 24 hours or more that you've got to follow us. Spam bots are never going to follow anybody. That's not what they're there for. That's not what Meta have designed them for. Um, yeah, they're just there to try to catch you out. So please make sure you're following us on Facebook as well. And yeah, I'm gonna end it. I will probably try to compile something for about 4 6 weeks time, and in my head, I'm going to do Walton Hall. I'll go back and revisit the Walton Hall evidence, and we can do a watch along with Walton Hall. Again, another location that Adam the skeptic, um, yeah, was not happy or comfortable in, but another place where we did capture some amazing evidence. So I think I'll go back through that and make another video for Walton Hall, and then as we go forward, you guys let me know any episodes that you think you want to go back to and revisit, and I'll compile these shorter videos again. But yeah, as ever, listen, thank you so much for joining, and yeah, thank you for your patience as well. It really has been appreciated. All your well wishes and your positive thoughts towards us this last 3 to 6 months has meant a lot to us. So it's so yeah, but yeah, 2026, we've started. Yeah, let's do this. So yeah, thank you so much, and good night, guys.